Everyone, back from my travels, and this is Ramadan Diary Part 5. Actually, I think it's Part 10. But anyway, this one I'm gonna do basically a double book review on No God But God, The Origins, Evolution, and Future of Islam, and by Reza Aslan, and No God But God, The Origins and Evolution of Islam by Reza Aslan. Basically, this is basically a shortened version of this written for teenagers and young adults. And basically, I'm gonna just quickly comment that overall this does give very much a synopsis, and it very much sums up much of what's in this book. At the same time, I would say this book includes a lot of great stuff not included there. And all the stuff about Sufi Islam that's in here, not in here. And the stuff about basically the British government trying to control India, um, not in here, but quite a bit in here. I will comment that this is the original paperback edition. There has been an updated edition since this release. I think it has an extra chapter, maybe some other brief side comments. This edition was released when Bush was president and the war in Iraq was going on, and um, there at that time, and I guess there still is a lot of sort of Islam Christian butting heads, or at least from Christians. I think here in America, most Muslims are perfectly fine with Christians, but they are heavily discriminated against. Although I'm gonna say Reza Aslan really does his homework. He's also a fantastic writer, great with creative writing. Um, really good at sort of giving visual descriptions and having a lot of imagery. But he also definitely does a lot of research on the history. Mostly these two books basically talk about the life of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Although he doesn't say that each time, despite the fact that he is a Muslim and that's what Muslims are supposed to do, he does include that in like the prologue and some other stuff. He definitely gives his opinions, and he does include some of his own personal experiences. Like the prologue for this one talks about a train ride he was on and encountering Christian missionaries trying to convert Muslims. Overall, definitely a really good book, and I have a much, much higher opinion of Islam than I did. And I mean, basically, he talks a lot about how it's very much about giving to charity, helping the poor. He also comments on the no God but God thing, something that because I know a lot of polytheists who would possibly be discomforted by its early some of the stuff at the beginning. Um, One of the things that Reza Aslan comments on at the end, he basically says something sort of out of sympathy to polytheists. And he comments on, well, that there was things would have maybe been different in a different historical context, in a different setting. Um, and he does comment that there is a verse in the Quran that says there should be no compulsion in religion. However, something that I really like about this, and that I'm really realizing about Islam, is that it was way ahead of its time in many ways. Really, this was possibly one of the first. times where men and women were looked upon as equals, and although Muhammad, peace be upon him, was in a polygamous marriage, um, what really makes him different from all the people during his time is that he was in a monogamous marriage for about 25 years, when just about everyone else was polygamous. And something that's commented in the Quran is that monogamy is the ideal, but basically, in the context of that time, people, I mean, for Islam to have any impact overall, it would basically have to be accepting of polygamy. But it definitely, I mean, basically, Islam has a similar history to Christianity. A visionary has ideas, shares his ideas, then later on, everything becomes very corrupted. And I think something I'm kind of thinking is much of the negative aspects of Islam today are very much part of the culture in which it came from, in which it kind of grew out of, and which Islam itself was maybe looking down upon at that time. But both of these, I definitely recommend reading this book to get a summary of what's in this, and both great books. Reza Aslan is a fantastic writer. Um, I could keep talking, but yeah, I shouldn't. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum. Uh, yeah, that means peace be with you. Thank you for watching.